Born into absolute poverty in rural Alabama as the grandson of slaves, Joe Louis Barrow faced immense systemic hardships from his very first breath. Moving to Detroit as a young boy during the Great Migration, he discovered the sport of boxing inside local youth centers as a way to escape street violence. He dropped his last name to keep his boxing hidden from his mother, completely unaware that the simplified name Joe Louis would eventually become famous across the globe. The young fighter possessed a quiet, stoic demeanor that masked an incredibly explosive and devastating power hidden inside his hands. He trained with a fierce, silent intensity, learning to channel his daily struggles directly into perfect, textbook boxing fundamentals. Joe did not fight for fame or personal vanity. He fought to build a completely new life for his family, using his growing athletic talents to escape the suffocating poverty of the American working class. What Joe Louis went on to accomplish in the heavyweight division remains an absolutely unmatched golden standard in the entire history of modern boxing. He captured the World Heavyweight Championship in 1937 by knocking out James J. Braddock and held onto the crown for an astonishing 12 consecutive years. During this historic reign, he defended his title a record-breaking 25 times, entirely dominating an entire generation of challengers. He faced a legendary lineup of fighters that the public affectionately nicknamed the Bum of the Month Club because Joe dismantled them so easily. His historic dominance was defined by absolute technical precision, a devastating jab, and an unforgiving, cold finishing instinct. He brought stability and immense dignity back to the sport's most prestigious title, proving to be an absolute fighting champion who was always ready to defend his crown against any top contender. To study Joe Louis inside the squared circle is to watch a masterful, highly advanced clinician operating at the absolute peak of his scientific craft. He did not rely on wild, chaotic brawling. He was a highly methodical counterpuncher who possessed a flawless, economic style of movement. Joe stood firmly in front of his opponents, delivering short, compact, and lightning-fast combinations that carried the force of an absolute sledgehammer. His punching technique was so incredibly perfect that he could generate maximum knockout power from just a few inches away. He did not waste single movements or unnecessary energy, moving forward with a relentless, suffocating pressure that slowly trapped his opponents. Louis possessed an uncanny ability to spot the tiniest defensive flaws, exploiting them instantly with a multi-punch precision that left the world's best trainers completely mesmerized. The absolute cultural pinnacle of Joe's legendary career occurred in June 1938 during his highly anticipated rematch against Germany's Max Schmeling. Set against the tense backdrop of rising international fascism, this monumental fight became a massive symbolic battle between democracy and Nazi ideology. With the weight of the entire free world resting directly on his shoulders, Joe stepped inside Yankee Stadium to deliver the most important performance of his life. The historic battle lasted just 2 minutes and 4 seconds, as Joe unleashed a ferocious, non-stop storm of punches that utterly destroyed Schmeling. This spectacular, decisive victory transcended sports, turning Joe into an immediate national hero for Americans of all racial backgrounds. He completely shattered the false myths of racial supremacy on a global stage, proving that a black man could successfully carry the flag and pride of the entire United States. Joe Louis's immense historical impact extended vastly beyond the boundaries of boxing records, transforming him into a massive civil rights pioneer. In an era deeply marred by severe racial segregation and widespread prejudice, his flawless behavior and quiet dignity forced white America to respect him. He became the very first African American athlete to achieve genuine, widespread status as a national hero across the entire country. He used his massive global platform to advocate for integration, actively serving his country during World War II by raising money for the military. Joe donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to charity, boxing in numerous exhibition matches to entertain soldiers fighting on the front lines. He carried himself with an enduring, humble grace that slowly paved the way for future legendary trailblazers like Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali to alter sports history. When Joe Louis finally laid down his gloves, he left behind an absolutely immortal legacy that will forever endure in the fabric of American history. He entered the boxing world as a poor, completely unknown kid from the South and left it as an undeniable icon of global freedom and strength. His incredible life journey proved that true greatness is defined by how you handle immense social pressure while fighting for a cause greater than yourself. His legendary name will forever be revered by sports historians as the definitive blueprint for the perfect heavyweight boxing champion. Future generations of fighters will continually study his short, compact punching power, trying in vain to replicate the magic of his historic 12-year reign. The Brown Bomber has officially stepped out of the violent ring, but his beautiful, historic silhouette remains permanently etched into the eternal history of the world.